diary. I usually keep my diary, you know. You make such interesting points. Last time I wrote it down, मुझे मिल ही नहीं रही है वो diary का.
And that's why you are going from one room to another, searching for your notes.
Yeah, because I'm looking for it. And here my husband is going to watch television. So I thought कि चलो मैं उस तरफ ही बैठूं, नहीं तो there'll be too much of noise for you.
No problem. It's okay. Settle down.
Yeah, that's why I've just come in over here.
So
and Delhi suddenly becomes so cold.
Yeah. So this topic actually is very close to my heart, and I'll tell you why. I'm sure
I don't even know what the topic is. I just haven't read it. I'm just.
I named it as compassionate listening.
Compassionate listening.
Okay. Yeah. And it just came into my awareness, just few days ago, and immediately I was like, I need to do an event on this for sure. People need to know about it.
So I should write it. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Shaista.
No problem.
So I'm going to write it as today is November.
Compassionate listening. And most of us, I'm sure maybe some of you can relate to it, have grown in families where this very, very core need of each one of us was missing.
Yeah.
And most of the wounds we carry are because of the fact that we were not heard by the ones who were supposed to hear us. And it causes a lot of deep unconscious wounds. And in reality, in family constellation, we look at it as not something which is right or wrong, but something that wounds the soul of a child when it's not provided. So most of our parents,
listening.
The listening part of it, So I always tell people that the basic need of a child is to be heard, is to be seen, is to be acknowledged exactly as they are. And because
Can you say that again?
Yeah, please? So every child, in order to feel safe, okay, let me add more depth to it. In order to feel safe, needs to be heard, seen, and acknowledged exactly as they are. It's one of the core needs of a child to be really celebrated the way they are. And unfortunately, we were raised, so I acknowledge my personal experience in this as well, and that is the reason why I do all of this, because most of the things that I talk about are the ones I myself have gone through. And now I understand how crucial it is for each one of us, including our children, including our partners, including all the people we come across in our life, in our practice as well. If some of us are into coaching, and do we have the skill set to be able to listen to the other person without our own inner biases, our own inner judgments and opinions about right and wrongs? And unless and until we don't reach to that level of being non-judgmental in our personal, in our therapeutic space, we are not doing the job correctly. So thank you so much, everyone. Let's just start. I just started off. Okay, there are more people joining, and now my team is not here to help me with that. So guys, just note down any questions that you may want to ask, and we will do that in the end. There are 2 possible exercises that we will do together. I plan to create breakout rooms where you will be paired with another one, and we'll do some mini exercises to experience what is the whole theme about. Okay, and I'll guide you, of course, how to do that. So you learn something in this event today, how to be a good listener, and how important it is for connecting with people, not just on a superficial level, but at a very deep level, where you're able to not just build rapport with them, but you're also being at service to the other person who probably might have never been heard in their entire life in a safe space. 1 second. I hope I'm entering everyone and nobody's just waiting for me. I need my team here. Okay. All right. So this space that we are in today is about compassionate listening circle. It's a circle. All right. A place where you can pause, breathe, and simply be human. most of us, so I'll read some little bit of information before I forget the whole thing, and then we'll do the exercises as well. So most of us grew up in environments where real listening was missing. We were spoken to, corrected, judged, instructed, dismissed, but rarely heard. And a child who is not heard grows up into an adult who always feels invisible, feels unseen, misunderstood, or emotionally alone in their inner space. And that continues in their adult life, where they keep experiencing and recreating relationships and events and scenarios where their core wound keeps on getting replayed again and again. It's like a movie that goes back and repeats itself again and again, where you are dismissed, where you are corrected, judged, instructed, similar to what you used to experience as a child with your mother and father. And then with teachers, anybody who was an adult who had an influence on you basically made you feel that way. So there is a core wound that is created, is generated, that gets triggered each time you want to be heard, you want to be seen, you want to be acknowledged, you want to make yourself visible, but then you're not experiencing it because your nervous system has never registered that as a blueprint, as a template to take it forward. So in family constellations, we say where listening is missing, love cannot flow. So we actually,
this is really good.
Yeah, so we actually stop loving ourselves when we are not being heard or seen or acknowledged. A part of us gets fragmented, disassociated. So these are all the terms we use in therapies. It gets fragmented, disconnected, disassociated, and it starts believing that there is something inherently wrong or not okay with me. And that becomes a core inner wound that a child part of us carries, and then there are subsequent experiences that keeps on justifying the wound that has not been healed. So today we are here not to fix anyone. We are here to witness each other, to listen without judgment, without rushing, without solutions. Because the moment someone feels truly heard, something in their nervous system softens, it breathes. Something old begins to get released. And love has, so inner space, in a cup of you, which I call as a cup of love, has space to flow again towards you. So compassionate listening is the ability to receive another person exactly as they are. Because we have not experienced that, and we are learning to do that for ourselves, we probably do the same to others. So we are not able to offer that grace to our partners, to our friends, to our children, right? To anyone who expects us to listen to them, to be there for them. Oftentimes I tell people that when a child, for example, is triggering you, because most of us are in that space where we too have children, we all have kids, right? Or anybody who is in a space of being dependent on us. So whenever they expect us to hear them, to create that non-judgmental space for them, we actually are not able to do that, and that triggers us. We make it about ourselves. So when a child, regardless of the age right now, when they trigger you, in reality, they are triggering that inner part of you that also was dismissed, was judged, was shamed. Okay, so shame is a huge topic. We deal with it in family constellations, that we actually begin to internalize that shame. So shame is not an emotion as such. It is a belief rooted in that says something is wrong with me. If I was this, perhaps my mom and dad will look at me And we do the same with our partners, because if a partner is dismissal or is judgmental towards us, we probably go back into the same wound that there is something wrong with me. Maybe I should overgive, overcompensate, do something more about it, try to fix my partner. And we go into probably the mothering or the fathering role in our relationships. And most of us in relationships are not in a harmonious, balanced connections. We are often replaying our inner child wound. Either we become a parent or we become a child in that dynamic. So we are not conscious parents and conscious partners in these dynamics. We are always replaying what we had experienced as a child, and that could be very much in the unconscious. So in family constellations, we see that most inner wounds are created because someone important who had an influence on us was not truly listening to us when we needed it the most. So in family constellation, we always, when we are doing these processes, we see where the gaze, where the direction of my parent is. The moment we do those processes, the first movement, I tell my client, can you place yourself, can you place your parent? And we will exactly be able to see and witness the inner reality coming out in the external space. The parent is not even looking at the child. And the child in their childhood, now of course he's an adult, a client, is still operating from that frozen consciousness. Is still seeking a validation from that parent. Sometimes it's both the parents, right, who are distracted, who are not fully available. They think that they're doing a great job by just providing, things for the physical needs, but the core emotional and mental needs are not being met. So the wound still remains. In childhood, we learn who we are. So our identity is formed through the eyes of our parents, our caregivers. The tone they use with us, the space they allow for our emotions or don't allow, the safety we feel when we express ourselves, or the other way around. When a child speaks and the parent listens deeply with presence, the child experiences in his internal reality that I matter. My feelings are valid. My voice has a place, which means their throat chakra is not going to get suppressed. They know that no matter what I come across, no matter what I bring on the table with my parents, they are going to be there for me. They can hear me. They're not going to judge me. They're not going to shame me. But when listening is absent, when parents are distracted, dismissive, overwhelmed with their own survival experiences, right? Sometimes they have financial, things going on. Sometimes they have inner conflicts between each other, which is what they're experiencing, and they're not in harmony and in connection with one another. Sorry, there are more people joining. I hope I'm not keeping anyone wait. Just 1 minute, guys. Okay. All right. So when parents are distracted, dismissive, or emotionally unavailable, they don't know how to deal with this child. The child is having triggers. Maybe they're having meltdown when they're coming back from school, or they have experienced some form of bully. Something of that sort is going on. And the parent is dismissal. The parent is shooing the child, telling the child that, you are overreacting. What you're experiencing is not, you're just overreacting basically. So you need to let it go. A child learns with such parents that my feelings are too much. I should stay quiet. My needs are a burden. Maybe I'm too much for my parents. And if my parents are going through so much, I shouldn't be too much for my parents. So they push down their emotional atmosphere. And maybe they develop this phenomena that nobody understands me. So when clients come to me and I ask them all these things, their language actually demonstrates the wound coming from their childhood. So they may say something like, oh, now I'm not able to progress in my work, for example. I ask them, how does that make you feel? Oh, I feel as if I'm not good enough, or I feel that no matter what I do, I'm a loser. So they use very simple language for a very complex situation. That simple language demonstrates it's the child part of them still speaking through their experiences, even in their adult years. This becomes an inner voice, of course, like I said, in their adult life. They grow into adults who over explain. So, this is how we can understand what's really happening. They over explain, they feel invisible, never feel heard in relationships, they shut down easily, they struggle to trust, carry emotional loneliness even when they are surrounded by people, so they still feel lonely. In family constellation, like I said, where listening was missing, love stopped flowing. Love got wounded. Love got associated with lack of trust. I can't trust my parents with my problems. So now they love their parents, but it equates distrust. How judgment? So the first thing we have to understand, we have to learn in our adult life is that we rarely listen to what the other person is saying. We listen to the other person, whether that's our child, that's our partner, that's our friend, that's our parent, that's a colleague, that's our boss, anyone who we are connecting with. We listen to them through our own projections. Okay, I sometimes use the word mirror. So everybody is mirroring something back to each other. We also do that through our fears, our triggers. All of that is coming from our family system. Our unresolved childhood story. So if somebody comes and says, oh, I am unable to get along with my team in my workplace, and I'm always put down, I'm always shamed, or they are always burdening me with extra responsibilities at work and I can't say no. Let me tell you honestly, all of this is coming from their childhood space. They're just repeating all the experiences that they went through as a child, where they were not allowed to say no, where they were burdened with parental responsibilities, so they had to become a caretaker. So all that pattern is now being repeated in their relationships as an adult with their partner, even at their workplace. So the workplace becomes a repetition of the template that they had experienced in their childhood. We also listen to the other person through the filters of our defenses, of our defense strategies. Our habit of wanting to be right all the time. So if we grew up in families where making mistakes was always being punished, so when a person is trying to tell us something about themselves, we may dismiss the other person's feelings in order to be right all the time, because that my partner is not allowed to make mistakes, because deep down I wasn't allowed to make mistakes. That is why two people can hear the same sentence and interpret it in their own way. So mirroring. Because the subconscious is filtering through. So these are the core things that I always talk about, and we work on these issues. So the subconscious is filtering the other person through our mother wound, our father wound, how we were able to connect with our siblings. That is one of the series I'm doing, in this entire Thursday, all 3 Thursdays, where I've also integrated sibling wound, because through siblings, we understand how to make connections outside of the home environment. So it becomes another place. So if we were bullied by our siblings, if there was competition between our siblings, we get to experience the same in the external world as we grow up. So we have to heal that wound as well. Abandonment fear. So if we were abandoned with our own emotions growing up, or there was an actual abandonment, maybe the father left the mother and never came back. Or maybe when the split between the parents happened, both the parents never reconciled with one. So the divorce happened, for example, but the closure never happened. So now there is an exclusion of one parent as in contrast to the other parent. So abandonment fear. We also listen to the other person through the filters of rejection, childhood shame. If we were shamed, if I was shamed, and if my partner is asking me for something that he or she expects me to do, I may shame them for having those needs because I wasn't allowed to experience that. Or loyalty to suffering. Sometimes we sabotage, sometimes we have a safe connection that the universe wants us to experience, but we push it away because it's not safe, because we have never experienced, so it becomes very unfamiliar, right? This is why in relationships people often say, I didn't mean it that way. How many of you might have said or experienced that? So you're trying to say something to your partner and they are registering it through their own filters, own wounds, and interpreting it in their own way. Both of them are not wrong. It's not about the battle of right and wrong here. It is about what conditioning I had received versus the conditioning of my partner. So they may say, I didn't mean it that way. Or I would say, you misunderstand me all the time. So we have to see where this trail goes back to. Who was the first person to misunderstand me and kept on doing that for the rest of their life? You never hear what I'm saying. So oftentimes people are not actually hearing one another. They cut each other out. How many of you have experienced that? That you're trying to say something, and then instead of being heard fully, there are these people in your life who keep on cutting you. They don't allow you to express yourself fully. So it's not the words that hurt. It is the unhealed part between these interactions that are hearing each other out. And they may feel triggered by too much of emotional bombardment, let's say, that is coming from the other person, and they can't hold it. So often men, for example, are unable to hold emotional triggers of their partners because they were dismissed when they too were having emotional triggers or emotional tantrums when they were little boys. So they weren't allowed to express their needs fully. So their inner feminine, if you want to understand it from that perspective, their inner feminine was basically completely shut down. And now they live their life in a very hyper masculinated way, disconnected from their inner feminine, which is all about feeling empathy, feeling emotions, being creative, wanting to connect with the other person exactly as they are. So all of that has been pushed down because this is what the conditioning said to them. I am not safe. So men can carry that wound. I am not safe when I express my emotions, because they are loyal to their family system that says and believes in the same belief that for men it's not safe to be emotional. We don't cry. So they harden up themselves. They exclude the feminine essence within them, and now they can't hear their partners. Okay, how to integrate this compassionate listening in your life? So something that you can take away from this event, and of course we will do those exercises as well. How many people are here so that I know how many breakout rooms I will have to create? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can create 4. So we will do those exercises. Deepika.
You just said how to integrate compassionate listening. I wanted to just write it down.
Okay, so I will be giving you those points now. So you're writing the points?
Okay. No, I just wanted to write the heading.
The heading. So the heading is how to integrate compassionate listening. It's not about listening. So we have to understand compassionate is different from listening. It's a whole package. Somebody else.
Integrate it into what?
In our daily life. How to do that?
In our daily life.
Yeah. So how to do that? Number one thing that I have learned, so I'll acknowledge something from my personal space. I, of course, experienced parents who were not fully emotionally attuned to my needs. So they used to dismiss me a lot. And I'm sure most of us have gone through it. So I'm not the only one. With that, what happened as I was growing up, so whenever I formed relationships and friendships, I would go on and on and on and on with my issues. But what I would experience was everybody would cut me and not allow me to complete my self-expression. And as I was becoming an adult, I started doing the same thing. So when I was in my workplace and corporate world, I remember very clearly that I would not listen fully to my colleagues, to my boss, and I would interrupt. So I used to interrupt because somehow I knew what they are saying also, and I could make it out, but then it came across rude. And for me, when I got into the therapy world, when I started practicing this with clients, that is the first thing I had to learn and integrate in my life, which was to calm myself down, ground myself in my body, and create that space where I'm listening to my client, not from my own judgments. And that is the work we do as a healer. You heal yourself first to the depth where you are able to hold space for somebody else, their sufferings, their pains. All right. So the first thing we need to learn in our personal relationships, and you can start off from tomorrow, is to pause before responding. When somebody is talking to you, take few deep breaths and feel as if you're fully present in your body. You're not going into the future of understanding the worst case scenario. You're not going into the past, checking out on any anchor that is coming from the past. You're deeply rooted in the present moment. So for example, maybe this is what we'll do in one of the exercises, that one of you will become a parent and the other one will take a role of a child. Are you able to hold space for your child? I think children are beautiful teachers in our life. If you have come across yourself, they teach us so many lessons, and this is one of the lessons I've learned from my children. I used to get super triggered before I tried healing myself. I was an anxious person, always having my say in as a parent as well, and I learned in those earlier years when my children were young that I'm actually damaging my children and they're getting frustrated. And with that, I started experimenting as I was evolving. How can I hold space for my children first, even if they're triggering me? So can I pause before responding? That's number one. Check with your body. Is your body getting triggered? Are there any, are you feeling suffocated? Are you feeling agitated? Is there any trigger, any tightness or anxiety or heaviness coming inside your body as a sensation? The moment you have to listen to someone, or the moment you are making yourself heard anywhere around, what is happening in your body? What are the emotions coming up? Breathe, like I said, breathe before replying. Learn not to cut another person as they're expressing themselves, even if it's our partner, even if it's our child. We learn from our family systems. This is where you were wounded, and this is exactly where you will also start healing yourself. Okay? Reflect back, not with solutions immediately. So when somebody is coming up with their pain point, they're talking about what is making them upset, we often jump to giving them solutions. Let's not do that immediately. The first thing you have to learn is to hold space for whatever they are experiencing and don't dismiss it. Don't try to fix it. It's very much human to feel sad, to feel angry, to feel frustrated. Can we allow those difficult emotions to exist in our life without excluding them? I hope some of you understand what exclusion means. So when we exclude a difficult emotion, for example, that emotion intensifies. The moment we include that emotion, even if it's anger, even if it's sadness, it's frustration, irritation, whatever, jealousy, all those emotions that we judge in our communities, right? We exclude those emotions. And then because we have excluded those emotions, we see more and more of them in our personal space because of our judgment. So can we learn to drop those judgments against these difficult emotions? Because that is a polarity we have to go through, right? We live in a world of duality, good and bad, right and wrong, light and darkness. So without these difficult emotions, we cannot even fully enjoy the lighter emotions of happiness and joy and abundance, because we are excluding this and we can't balance it off now. So this is another point, can you choose presence over performance? Can you fully be present with another person, even if you disagree with them? That's our child, that's our partner, that's a friend. Can you non-judgmentally choose to be present with them without fixing them, without wanting to find solutions for them? And that goes for our parents also, right? When parents come to you with their issues, and as a child, now you feel internally responsible to provide them with solutions. And if you have no solutions, and maybe you have been hearing the same story from your parents for years now, for decades now, nothing has shifted, what makes you think that you can create any solution for them right now? So can you just be a listener in that moment without internalizing your own failure for not being able to provide them with any solution, right? We can't fix issues for our parents, right? It becomes really burdensome. Can we also learn to listen to understand instead of taking it always as an attack where we have to defend ourselves? So these are some of the ways where we can learn how to integrate compassionate listening. And you will offer a huge gift to the other person. It becomes like a beautiful gift to the other person when you're able to do that. But always make sure when you have such an interaction, how is your inner world? Are you operating from lack? Are you also requiring recharge? When that happens, you have to very gently tell the other person, I need some space and I will get back to you on this. Let me process this. So we don't have to immediately jump and defend ourselves, especially if it's a difficult conversation. And talking about difficult conversation is one of, maybe I'll have another event on that, is something we all need to learn to be okay with. So instead of pushing things down, can we learn to be okay with having difficult conversations? Many family systems thrive on silence. Yeah, pushing stories down. Can we be okay with having difficult conversations? I've often seen in our practice that many family systems are frozen in very old timelines just because they have never been able to deal with difficult emotions or difficult situations in their life, and everything has been pushed down. So even though it seems that those families right now are in 2025, so much of their consciousness is still frozen in a different timeline. And in constellation, I mean, of course, in my practice, I can see that my client in their 40s are still operating from the timeline that was maybe 10, 20 years before their birth. I know it sounds very ironic, but it's true. So they are sucked in a timeline which was created much before their birth. So now they're operating from survival instincts, from sufferings and struggles that has nothing to do with them. But they're sucked, they're entangled. So we use the term entanglement in family constellation, so they're entangled. Any questions? Or maybe we'll put questions towards the end. How many of us are here? Because people are coming and going. 10. So I need, is everybody okay to come on videos, please? Yeah, I know most of you are on videos, but Roxana, yeah. And I will create a break room where there will be a pair with you. And what I want you to do is so each one of you will have your own breakup room, 2 people inside that room, and it will be, I think, allotted randomly. I'm trying that for the first time. I've never used breakout rooms before. So let's see how it goes. Roxana, you don't want to be? So is it okay, Roxana? I mean, this is beneficial for you if you are able to participate in something of that sort.
Yeah, but I'm not very comfortable right now to open my video. If you can excuse me.
Okay, no, that's fine. But can you interact?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I will interact.
Okay. That's what I'm asking, because I have to create those breakout rooms, and you will be partnered with another person. I don't know who that person will be. It will be allotted randomly. So I want all of you to do this exercise that I'm going to explain now, and then come back, and then we'll do another one, and then we'll wrap it up after questions. Mavish, okay, that was you. You have a very weird number showing up on Zoom. Oh, that's fine, no problem. Okay. Okay, so the purpose of this first exercise is to show how rare real listening is. So number one, what you have to do is person A speaks something for like a minute or two, not more than that. Whatever you're going through and you have not been able to put it off your chest, and you have not been given that space by anyone around you. Okay, so think of anything like that, anything emotional, anything you have pushed down, right? Think of that. And person B, so the other partner, is only going to listen. No giving solutions, no trying to fix, no advising, nothing of that sort. And then switch roles and then come out. So the other partner is not going to find any solution, no fixing, no judging. Can you just hold space without interrupting the other person for 2 minutes? Okay, that is the first exercise we are going to experience. Then you come back and we'll quickly share how did it feel for you to speak about it where nobody is cutting you, and how did it feel to simply listen. So both ways. So how was it for you to be heard, and how was it for you to have expressed it? Okay, so we'll take a good let's say 6 minutes for this, and we come back. Okay, so you have to exit and come back into this room. Don't exit from the Zoom. I don't know how to make sure of that, but just...
So how do we do that?
I think you'll have to just maneuver around. I think it's not difficult. The breakout room will tell you when to come back, how to come back.
Oh,
Okay, and even if you leave the Zoom, you have the link, come back again. Okay? Okay, so each room will have 2 people, and I'm breaking out 5 rooms. Okay, let's try. I'm trying for the first time. I hope this works. Okay, guys, I see you in few minutes, 6 minutes.
now what do we do?
Wait, I'm also trying now.
Okay. I thought because somebody just left, so I wasn't sure.
No. So do I have to allot you guys myself?
You can, the thing is, Shaista, you can do it manually, or it's also automatically, randomly, you can create, just assign.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I assigned it, but it's not showing. You guys are not seeing yourself in... Yeah.
No, we are not.
And the thing is,
I can see
Have you
somewhere.
created?
Hmm?
Sorry, Shaista, have you created the rooms?
Yeah.
If you can, yeah, and then...
Invite all.
You
Okay.
can-
All. So now you'll get an invite. So go there. Okay.
Okay.
I hope it goes. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see it says Task Manager View. This app is not supported on mobile device.
Oh, really? Allow. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, one thought I have is we had room numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could give us the room numbers to go to,
Yeah.
and then we can just go to the room numbers.
Okay. But how do I do that now? There are 5 rooms I created.
So you go to more. I'll tell you what, you go to more at the panel right below, because I was looking.
Uh-huh.
You know, the tab below.
Yeah.
It says more. Press more. It says right on top breakout rooms. Press that.
Okay.
Now for me, it shows me room 1. I'm just trying to see if I can join.
Okay, guys, maybe can you all go to more breakout rooms and select any room, and where there is, just do it yourself, where you're able to go to another partner. Try that out, because I'm not able to do it from here. Yeah, just select any random room. So in room number 1, Deepika and Mavish are there. Room number 2, Amina is there. We still have other rooms. Select any room and just go there. Do the joining. Yeah. I hope this works. Guys, sorry, I'm trying for the first time. Just join any room. We can see Room number 3, one more person can go. Room number 4 is also available. Nobody is there.
I'm not able to do it. I'm not able to find the rooms.
You have to go to more. Go to more on Zoom.
वहाँ पे नहीं है.
नहीं है. I don't know why.
मेरे पास नहीं है.
So how many of you
मेरे
are
पास है
here?
caption, audio settings, caption settings, meeting settings, and disconnect audio. This is what I have.
It's all on more because I was able to see it. You can't see room number 2 and 3.
Nothing.
Okay.
जी मुझे भी नजर नहीं आ रहा.
Are you guys on mobile? Meena, are you not able to go?
Yes.
So maybe it's not showing on mobile.
I'm on mobile.
I was the only person in that room.
I know
Maybe
because I was telling them to join and they are on mobile, so they can't find the rooms.
I find that list of rooms, but I cannot connect.
Wait.
if you want, we can you can have 2 people here.
Yeah,
Everyone
two people can be here. Yeah, I think some of them
Everyone
have.
can close their video and you can select 2 people for 2 minutes and then everybody else closes their video. So it kind of becomes a breakout room if it's not working right now.
I was able to go to the breakout room, but I can't find people in there.
Yeah, because they were still unable to join.
I see that there's a number, but I can't see them.
Okay, so let's do that. Whoever is here, let's do that here. I think let's save on time. My mistake. I don't know how to make this work.
But just letting you know, the other people are probably in the breakout room.
They are already doing it.
Oh, they're doing it?
Yeah, because I can see 4 people already, 5 people, no, 6 people already in 3 rooms. But you guys are here. Okay, so they were able to do it. It's okay.
No,
Okay.
I was able to go in the room, but there's nobody that I can see in the room.
Yeah, because
even
they
though
were here. Because they were here. They were not able to connect now.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Huh.
I could see there's one person in the room. I went in the room.
Hmm.
They're not visible. I came out, then I could see there's one person in room 3. I went in room 3, nobody's there.
Okay, let's save time. Let's continue with what we wanted to do. Let's save time on that. So, we are all going to hear and the other person. So, Sakina and Meena, can you interact with one another?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So everybody else is closing video or we just
No,
start?
it's okay. Let's just start.
Okay. So what I understand is one person speaks, the other person listens and roles reverse. Would you like to go first?
You can go first, Sakina.
Okay.
I'll do the